professional indemnity insurance. Now, most licensed agents are aware that Section 22 and Clause 10, firstly of the Section 22 of the Act, Clause 10 of the regulations, says that license holders must have a professional indemnity insurance. Now, that comes back down to which classes of license, because now we've had changes of there's Class 1 licenses and Class 2 license. Prior to 23rd of March, we just had a licensed agent here in New South Wales. So now with the different classes of license in New South Wales, it's who does need this. Well, obviously, if you're a Class 1 license holder and you are attached to a corporation, then the corporation will need to hold that professional indemnity insurance. So a licensee being somebody with a license, will need to be insured only if they engage in activities that require actually a license. So they're actually engaged in property matters. So I'm a trainer. I hold a license. Do I need to have professional indemnity insurance? No, I don't. If I were an active agent dealing with customers, listing, selling, leasing, buying property, livestock, doing strata, any of those things that a licensed agent does, then yes, I would fall into this category. So, there's some people that need it, or actually the majority of people who need it, a few people who don't. If people who are just holding their license and not actually actively working in the industry, they do not need to hold the professional indemnity insurance. They're actually exempt from that. So for those license holders, so that's the majority of you, who actually do engage in activities that require a license, so you're working in the property industry, you must be covered under a complying policy that's in force relating to you personally, your corporation, if you are a Class 1 license for the corporation, or your employer. So if you are a Class 2 agent, you're employed, so you're commission only, or you're a PAYG earner, then you will be covered under your agency's professional indemnity insurance policy. Good idea to actually check that with your boss. Ask the licensee in charge, are you covered under that policy? And just make sure that you are. So, because then you are meeting your requirements under the Property and Stock Agents Act. So, obviously your employer, in terms of where this comes from, they are actually required to hold this insurance. Now, I know I've talked about professional indemnity insurance before, and I've probably talked about it a few times. The requirements of how much professional indemnity insurance you need has not changed. So the regulation requires policies to provide a minimum level of indemnity coverage of not less than $1 million for any one claim and not less than $3 million in the aggregate. So no changes here. This is what the policy needs to state. Licensees in charge, Class 1 license holders, need to make sure that you are covered by your professional indemnity insurance that has that $1 million in any one claim and $3 million in the aggregate. So guys, check your professional indemnity policies and make sure that they cover that. Most insurance companies who provide professional indemnity insurance in the real estate industry actually already know this. So even when you don't know when you're getting your insurances done, most of the insurance company will know, but that doesn't negate the fact that you should know. So, that's covering you for a whole range of liabilities that come out of negligence, that come out of misleading and deceptive conduct, or breach of a professional duty, unintentional defamation of somebody, interference with intellectual property rights. So a whole range of issues here that would be covered by that insurance. So guys, just make sure you've got it, make sure you've got the right amount, and make sure that you are covered as a licensed agent. Obviously, if you are an assistant agent or a certificate of registration holder, you'll be covered by your employer. So just a quick check to yet another point under the Property and Stock Agents Act that you need to comply with.